Hi guys, today I want to discuss how American men, usually middle-class white men, travel to the Orient and Latin America for intimacy and marriage in the hopes of finding a woman who is not the typical lady that MGTOW men try to avoid. There are a lot of questions that come to my mind when I think about this. Like, I wonder if American women, assuming largely white middle-class women, have migrated toward interracial experimentation in the same manner that American males have over the years. I hear more about Western women's tourism to Black Africa and the Caribbean than to Latin America or Asia looking for physical intimacy. Is it because American women are increasingly looking for the stereotypical bad boys to fill the gaps left by American men? Is interracial adult entertainment a real trend for white women or merely an imagined fantasy? Also, are men or women duped by the direction that explicit content points? My argument is that American men appear to prefer meek, submissive, and loving women. American women, on the other hand, if my estimate is true, are now drawn towards more dominating alpha males. It's always interesting to expose a woman to her reality, since they never want to face or confess it by themselves. So why do Western women travel to the Caribbean and Africa for intimacy tourism and to find partners? Also, how does this apply to men who travel to Asia to find women? I believe it boils down to the reality that males are progressively becoming feminized in the West, while women are being masculinized. Because opposites attract, if you're a feminine Western woman or a masculine Western man, your chances of finding a partner has significantly gone down. There's also the case of men who are flocking to Asian countries in search of feminine ladies. Also, keep in mind that there are relatively few overweight women in Thailand. Even the lady boys are more attractive than Western ladies. That should tell you all you need to know. Even a somewhat feminized male from the West will likely appear more macho than many Asian men over there. Therefore, women will find such men appealing. When you consider their financial level and resources, it's simple to see why guys travel to such places. Also, I think it's simple to understand why American women go to Africa to find male partners. Although it's more of a stereotype, but black men seem to be more muscular than the average American men. We also have to factor in the adult film business that has created this perception that all black men are extra large down there. Even though research has suggested that the difference between the male intimacy body parts of American and African men are not that different, adult movies have created this perception that black men are significantly bigger, creating the assumption that all black males have the largest male body part. This is one of the reasons American women frequent Africa in search of partners who can fulfill their physical fantasies. Is this racism? I don't think so. It's just a perception that has been created, and this actually shows black men as naturally more dominating, and hence more physically attractive to Western women who don't get that level of muscle in America. It also works fairly well for Western women because even though they might have partners back in their home countries, they can still partake in physical tourism in Africa, spend their money which doubles or triples in Africa because of exchange rates, have their fun, and then go back home to their Western white male partners. This allows them to keep their social circles separate from their fetishes for which they travel around the world. This also makes it harder for them to get caught by their partners back home. I have known cases where people from different countries, especially men, find Western women and lure them into romantic partnership, all in the hope of being invited to live, work, and immigrate to Western countries with them. So it's not just women who use men to go to the West, but men too. And both men and women from Western countries go to other countries to find men and women that they don't get in their home countries. I recently read online how women from Thailand think that the more Western men they date, the more chances they have of being romantically involved with them in long-term commitment, and eventually go back to America, the United Kingdom, or Canada with them. Weirdly enough, once such women go to a Western country, they only realize that there's a separate game at play over there. They see that Western women are not submissive, and are then usually peer pressured into becoming more like them, which is why their Western white partners choose to leave them. The partners who initially brought them in their country because they were submissive and more receiving of their authority are now left with foreign women who are acting like white women. It also makes sense to see all of this from a social and economic point of view. Western men and women are more desirable around the world not only because of better economic conditions that they live in, but also because of the color of their skin, which is more desirable in most parts across the globe. From Africa to Southeast Asia and the Middle East, men and women desire Western men and women because the white skin is prized above brown or black skins. Is this racist though? In theory, yes, but you can't blame either side because part of the reason this is our history, and especially popular culture and media narratives which have always shown white people to be heroes, and people from other cultures, countries, and background to be villains. This is one of the best examples of how media can brainwash large numbers of populations around the world. There's no doubt that when men and women from around the world find Western partners and move to Western countries benefit economically. After making the move, they're immediately surrounded by more opportunities, better quality of food, a better environment, and usually lesser crime levels. They also start to earn more than they would back in their home countries. I have known many examples of people who partnered with people just because they could migrate to better countries. I know of an obese white woman marrying an African male who could then stay in America. They're both getting some benefits. The obese woman gets to have intense physical experiences with the black man that she otherwise would never have experienced. The black man gets to live in America and have a chance at prosperity, better opportunities, and a chance to bring his whole extended family out of poverty. However, there's always a downside to this as well. The men and women from Western countries who choose to find foreign partners and bring them back home are usually shunned by their social circles. They risk losing their chances at having partners of their own backgrounds and end up with people who have a different way of thinking. Western women now want more dominating men since Western men have been cultured by the womanist movement and hence have become more feminized. They want power and control of their men's lives, but still want the man to look more masculine. It's also about personal choices. Dominant women can also go to other countries to find more submissive men and end up only finding more masculine ones. In that case, they don't really get to be with any men at all, because for men, financial success isn't as important as is their personal respect and need for authority. The gender marketplace is also variable in this regard. For example, an average-looking Western moving who goes to a country like Japan will not get the expected attention from the men, because for the men, the above-average Japanese woman will still be more attractive. However, an average-looking Western man who goes to Japan will find the best-looking Japanese women to want them. The reason for this is the perception about gender and power in both countries. For Japanese women, the American man means a new life and a new world where they can happily be submissive and enjoy prosperity. For the Japanese man, an American woman who is dominant is not enticing enough. The man might enjoy physical intimacy, but he won't become submissive to her and go against his male nature. A lot of other factors are at play here. Income, age, skin color, and beauty are all contributing factors to how gender roles play in certain countries. A successful Western woman in her mid-30s might have more value in her country than she would in another. An average-looking woman in her early 20s will have a much higher value in a country like Africa or the Middle East than in her own country where she's only average. So these are all the reasons why a white Western man or woman might go to Africa or any other country to find a partner from a different background and skin color, and also why a black man or woman might find a white Western partner. That's it for this video. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.